Let us now take the sutram which prescribes a chaturthi samasaha. Sutram here is 2136. It reads chaturthi tadarthartha bali hita sukha rakshitaihi. We are of course in the adhikara of Tatpurushaha, which runs from 2122 down to 2222. So the compound prescribed by this sutram gets the designation Tatpurushaha. Vritya of the sutram says Chaturthyantarthaya yat tadvachina arthadibhishcha chaturthyantam va samasyate sacha Tatpurushaha, which means that a padam ending in a fourth case affix optionally compounds with a syntactically related padam denoting that which is for the purpose of that which is denoted by the padam ending in the fourth case affix, and so also with a syntactically related padam formed by adding a subaffix to artha or bali or hita or sukha or rakshita, and the resulting compound gets the designation Tatpurushaha. Now the usual points here. Why do we say optionally compounds? Because we are in the adhikara of Vibhasha, which starts from 2111 and goes down to 2229. So the compounding is optional here. We can also have a vakyam, a sentence conveying the same meaning using the same terms as are in the compound. And why do we say Chaturthyantarthaya? First of all, Chaturthi stands for Chaturthyantam because of the Paribhasha Sutram Yena Vidhistadantasya, which we know very well. So a qualifier by means of which an injunction is made stands for a term which ends in it as well as for itself. So Chaturthi stands for Chaturthyantam. Chaturthyantam is a padam, it is a word. And obviously we cannot have something which is for the purpose of the word itself. We can have something which is for the purpose of the thing denoted by the word. For example, when we say Yupaya Daru, wood for the sacrificial post. In this example, Yupaya is the Chaturthyantam padam. But of course, the word is not for the sake of the word. It is for the sake of that which is denoted by the word, which is the sacrificial post. So the word is for the purpose of the post, not for the word Yupaya. Therefore we say Chaturthyantarthaya. And let's not forget the Paribhasha Sutram Samarthah Padavidhi 211. Any Padavidhi, an operation involving one or more terms having the designation padam, has to be based on samarthyam. There has to be a syntactic relationship between these terms in order for the rule to apply. That's why we say syntactically related padam. And why don't we simply say compounding takes place with artha or bali, etc.? Why do we say a padam formed by adding a subaffix to? Because remember the Adhikara Sutram 214 Sahasupa. Hence compounding may only be done with a Subantam Padam. So the terms Artha, Bali, Hita, Sukha, Rakshita have to be joined with a subaffix first before compounding can take place. Okay, the note here says that Tadarthena Prakriti Vikriti Bhava Eva Griyate Bali Rakshita Grahanaj Jnapakat, which means that by the expression tadartha, for the purpose thereof, only the restricted sense of Prakriti Vikriti Bhavaha, a material cause and its transformation, its effect, is accepted here by the Mahabhashya. We infer this from the fact that Bali and Rakshita have been mentioned in addition to Tadartha in the Sutram. If Tadartha were intended to have the general meaning of for the purpose thereof, there would have been no need to separately mention Bali and Rakshita in the Sutram, because they would also come under the general heading of Tadartha. The fact that Panini has mentioned Bali and Rakshita separately tells us that Tadartha has a restricted meaning of Prakriti Vikriti Bhavaha, which means that only when something is a Prakriti, the material cause, for the Vikriti, which is the transformed effect, only then it qualifies as Tadartha. Hence the compound Yupaya Daru equals Yupa Daru, meaning wood for the sacrificial post. Here the wood is the material cause. It is transformed into the sacrificial post. The sacrificial post is fashioned out of the wood. This compound is allowed, but not Randhanaya Sthali, a pan for frying. Here the pan doesn't transform into frying. The pan is used for the purpose of frying, but the pan is not a material cause out of which frying is made. Hence, there is no compounding between Randhanaya and Sthali because there is no sense of material cause and its effect. Okay, but we see compounds such as Ashwaghasaha. Now, how is that possible? The comment says that Ashwaghasadayastu Shashti Samasaha. Compounds such as Ashwaghasa, the horse's grass, etc., are Shashti Samasaha and not Chaturthi Samasaha. So it is grass which belongs to the horse. That is the way this compound is justified, and not grass which is meant for the horse. So in short, if we mean Ashvaya Ghasaha, then we cannot compound. If we say Ashvasya Ghasaha, then we can compound. So the Vivaksha, the intended meaning in Ashwaghasaha is not Ashvaya Ghasaha, but Ashvasya Ghasaha. So yes, the compound Ashwaghasaha is seen, but it is not formed using this Sutram 2136. Okay, let's take an example now. Yupaya Daru equals Yupa Daru, wood for the sacrificial post. Now as per the Vartikam under the Sutram 2313, Chaturthi Sampradane, in the Mahabhashyam, the Vartikam reads Tadarthye Chaturthi Vacha. A fourth case affix is used following the Pratipadikam Yupa. Recall that this Vartikam states that a fourth case affix is used following a Pratipadikam which denotes the purpose for which an action is done or for which another thing exists or is used. Here the wood is being used to make the sacrificial post, hence Yupa takes the fourth case affix. The Alaukika Vigraha is Yupa Nye Chaturthi Ekavachanam plus Daru Su, compounding justified by the Sutram 2136 because we do have the material cause denoted by Daru Su, and we do have a Chaturthyantam Padam Yupa Nye which denotes the sacrificial post, which is the transformed effect. Hence the conditions for applying 2136 are satisfied. Now the usual steps as per 1243. Prathama Nidrishtam Samasa Upasarjanam Yupadnye gets the designation Upasarjanam because in the Sutram 2136 which prescribes the compounding, the term Chaturthi ends in the nominative case. And hence as per 2230 Upasarjanam Purvam, the term Yupadnye is placed in the prior position in the compound. Now Yupadnye Daru Su gets designation Pratipadikam by 1246 Krit Dita Samasascha, because we have formed a compound which allows us to apply 2471 Supo Dhatu Pratipadikayoho to do the look elision on the supaffixes Nye and Su which are in the compound Pratipadikam to get the final form Yupa Daru. Now as per the Sutram 2426 Paravalingan Dvandva Tat Purushayoho, the compound Pratipadikam Yupa Daru is neuter since the latter member Daru of the compound is neuter. Compound declines like Madhushabdaha. Prathama Ekvachanam is Yupa Daru. We can similarly form the following compounds: Bhutebhyo Balihi, Bhuta Balihi, an offering, an oblation for the spirits. Gobhyo Hitam, Go Hitam, beneficial for the cows. Gobhyo Sukham, Go Sukham, pleasant for the cows. Gobhyo Rakshitam, Go Rakshitam, reserved for the cows. Now what about compounding with Artha? For that we need the Vartikam which we'll take up next. There is a Vartikam under this Sutram 2136 which reads Arthena Nitya Samaso Visheshyalingata Cheti Vaktavyam. That will be our next Vartikam.